Ooh, child. Honey. Let me tell y'all something. This whole RICO thing, this real estate RICO, it's not even the tip of the iceberg, child. Let me tell y'all something. I wrote underneath Tony the Closer comment one day, like 3 months ago, maybe, if 3 months ago. And I said that this case is going to be big. It's going to be out of control. And with that being said, let's get into the whole real estate RICO of it all, honey. Y'all see my copyright disclaimer already on the screen because we're about to get into some things as we dive into part 2 of the real estate RICO. Honey. Shout out to Funk Flex and Tony the Closer, the Star Report, and everybody that is really putting this out there. Shout out to Channel 12 News. Shout out to Channel 4. Oh, we're going to get into Channel 4 and what they had to say, honey. Matter of fact, let's get into that right now. My name is Eve DeWee. Please like, share, and subscribe. This is part 2 of the real estate RICO scam Ponzi scheme. We're talking about 80 million plus people. Y'all bet 80 million with an M. With M. 80 M's. Okay? Let's get into it.
Into Cesar. I lost a total of $64,000.
He is a victim, just like the other alleged victims are in connection with the scams.
A lot of people say they bought in because of Envy's reputation. Does he not have some responsibility?
Absolutely not.
We got a special guest in the building. You might know him on Instagram as Flippin' NJ, my friend Cesar Pina.
We invested $200,000 and it looks like we're never going to get it back. And he's advertising this all over the radio and on television, so I thought this was legit.
If it wasn't for DJ Envy, I would have never invested into Cesar. I lost a total of $64,000.
He is a victim, just like the other alleged victims are in connection with the scams.
A lot of people say they bought in because of Envy's reputation. Does he not have some responsibility?
Absolutely not.
We got a special guest in the building. You might know him on Instagram as Flippin' NJ, my friend Cesar Pina.
We invested $200,000 and it looks like we're never going to get it back. And he's advertising this all over the radio and on television, so I thought this was legit.
If it wasn't for DJ Envy, I would have never invested into Cesar. I lost a total of $64,000.
He is a victim, just like the other alleged victims are in connection with the scams.
A lot of people say they bought in because of Envy's reputation. Does he not have some responsibility?
Absolutely not.
I don't know how his lawyer can sit up there and say, absolutely not, and see, this is why she asked the question like a real reporter and a real person on the story would. That's the same question I asked. How you gonna say that he don't have no responsibility when he's the one that brought him to the forefront in the first place? If he don't have no real responsibility, then he would have never put out a statement this week. And we're gonna get into what he had to say. But if you really, really felt deep down in your heart that he didn't have no responsibility, nobody would be coming forward. Nobody would be sending out cease and desist to Tony the Closer and everybody else, Funk Flex. Everybody getting cease and desist that's talking about this case. But and yet, your client does not have no responsibility in all this. We wouldn't even know of Cesar Pizza. We wouldn't even know of him if you would have never brought him on a Breakfast Club. And see, this is where the whole situation is going to be crazy for iHeart and the Breakfast Club situation. Charlamagne the God needs to be him need to be going out trying to find a new job, because let me tell you something. Angela Yee is already going. That shit is in rotation all the time. Then you got Lesser Charge up there, as Funk Flex called him, not me. Listen, listen. Don't get mad at me because Funk Flex called you Lesser Charge, okay? Listen, it is what it is. Call it as you see it. But at the end of the day, that's what you took, right, Charlamagne? You took a lesser charge in that whole Jessica Reed thing, allegedly. Listen, once Envy is gone, how you think they're gonna square off that situation? Let me tell you something. If I'm iHeartRadio and the people that work, the higher ups that work at the Breakfast Club and Power 105, I know there's meetings going on about this situation. Reason being, people were saying, oh, I wonder why DJ Envy felt the reason to speak out. The reason why he felt, to me, and only to me, the reason why I feel like he had to speak out, even though Charlamagne says, and I got my finger quotes in the air, oh, your lawyer told you not to speak. Okay, that's what lawyers do. They tell you not to speak. They advise you to not even say nothing, X, Y, and Z. Okay, then you got Charlamagne trying to be the pincushion of it all, which is crazy to me, because you less charged, and I don't even understand how you trying to figure out his situation when you need to go handle your own situation. You need to mind your business, shut the fuck up. But we here now, and at the end of the day, he's trying to be his friend. I don't think you should say nothing, friend. I don't think you should say nothing. But at the end of the day, he should have been spoke up. This is what Tony the Closer was talking about in my first interview when they had the FaceTime together. Why are you not speaking up? If you felt like he should have gave back the money, oh, I told Cesar to give back whatever money is owed to people in X, Y, and Z. So then why are you still working with him? Then if you realize he didn't do none of these things that you told him to do, why are you still on videos talking about I'm DJ Envy and this is Flippin' MJ? Why y'all still doing that whole bid if you realize that he didn't do exactly what you told him to do from the goddamn beginning? Why are you still working with somebody like that? Because you already know you the bigger name. You're tied to the Breakfast Club. So what you thought? You were so beneath the laws that you felt like, oh, ain't nobody coming to get me. My daddy's a cop, and I'm well connected to the people and them, so nobody's not gonna come for me. And then there was Tony. Let me tell you something. This is everything right now. And the reason why I'm laughing is because y'all tried to dox him. Y'all tried to bring him down. Y'all talked about his past. Y'all doxed his girl. Y'all did so many things to apply the pressure to that man. Yes, that man. That it did not crack him, startle him, break him. Oh, let me tell y'all what y'all did. Y'all created a monster within Tony to wake the people up. That's all y'all did. Y'all didn't scare him, rattle him, or nothing. Y'all got cease and desist. He took that to his lawyer, bing bong, and now here we are, talking about everything. And now you going viral. You on Billboard, and that's the only time you fitting to be on Billboard this goddamn year or this damn century. You on Billboard, TMZ's talking about it, Funk Flex talking about it, the Star Report, academics, even Rory and Mal. And we're going to get into what they had to say in a little bit. But everybody's talking about it. So I want to pose a question to DJ Envy and his lawyer now. Because what are you going to do? You going to sue TMZ? The way y'all tried to hand Tony a cease and desist, and y'all handing out all these cease and desists to Funk Flex, and y'all handing out cease and desist to Tony the Closer. Are y'all going to screw TMZ? Or maybe y'all going to send a cease and desist to Billboard? Or what are we going to do? Because at that point, everybody's going to be in court. And here's the thing. because everybody want to be doing videos and everybody want to act like they not responsible. There, Envy, if you did not know that there are clips of you and him and you introducing him on the Breakfast Club, and if y'all watched my earlier video, part 1 of today, y'all would notice that I had to take a snippet out of that video because of the Breakfast Club whole thing of it all, and I understand that. I didn't want to copyright, so I took the snippet out on my own. I edited it and I took it out because I didn't want no problems. And 9 out of 10, I'm going to have to edit the beginning of this video and take little snippets out of the whole Breakfast Club of it all. And that's not a problem for me. It's not. Because I'm going to tell it the way I see it. Like I've been telling it for the past couple of months now. I've been on your ass. I've been on your ass since the first live you did with Tony DeCloser. Because I already knew that you had some parts in it. It's no way in the world that you can be in a whole building with somebody, have a whole office space with them, do all these videos, be on a platform, do this and do that, and bring him to the forefront and say how you made somebody, and then all of a sudden, I don't even know him. I don't even know what you're talking about. Oh, he took my money too. Oh, I'm a victim. No, you're not. You're an accomplice. That's what you are, Envy. That is your business partner. You are liable. You can say whatever you want. You can try to flip it how you tried to flip it last week. Oh, we're going to get into how you tried to flip it, MJ, on us New York City people. We in New York City now, baby. Like Rick Ross said, you can't sell a Statue of Liberty, nigga. We are in New York City. You can't sell us a beach and then tell us it's an ocean. Listen, Linda, okay? I'm just here to tell it like I see it. So let's get into the whole situation of it all, because a snippet went out. Tony DeCloser aired out a little snippet of your podcast. And I was live and I was privy to what he aired last night on his live from your podcast. And we're going to go to that little snippet of your podcast because I'm trying to figure out for the life of me, like, you are a true swindler at its finest. This is what you've been doing for years and decades on decades on decades. This is what you do. This is how you've been getting by, just to get by. This is how you've been getting by. You have been scamming everybody plus your Patterson people in the community for decades and decades and decades. And not just in Patterson, Virginia. You just been scamming around. You are a troll. You just globe trotting around the world just scamming and being a DJ. Being a DJ and scamming people. Putting on Sunday suits and acting like you going to Sam's Club. Oh, let's get into it.
It's always supported me. I got everything that I want. They pushed me to be better. But I always wanted to be liked as a kid. Mm-hmm. So
liked by friends,
liked by friends,
girls,
liked by girls, guys, everybody. You know, I always wanted to be down. You know. And growing up in Queens, you've seen a lot of street life, street activity, drug dealers. You know, you would see people drive up and down with nice cars. Mm-hmm. You would see jewelry, you know.
It's a lot of places in New York, not just Queens, but yeah.
And then even with, with music videos, you see people making a lot of money. So,
and videos were much bigger then than they are now. Mm-hmm.
So I wanted that stuff. So I remember going to college and college was great. You know, I went to Hampton University, Gail went to Old Dominion, and I just remember hooking up with a bunch of people that were doing things that I didn't need to do, but I did it because I wanted to fit in. Mm-hmm. You know, and one of those things where I knew somebody that had a friend that worked at Costco.
Right. No, it wasn't Costco, it was Sam's Club.
Sam's Club.
Mm-hmm. Which, I think, is it just down south? It's, well, wherever it is. It's like a variation of a BJ's or a Costco, right, if you're not familiar.
It's called a Sam's Club. And they had a friend that worked there, and they told me that their friend was a security guard at the front door.
Right.
So they were like, what we do is we just go in there with a shopping cart, fill it up. We have a fake receipt, walk right to the door, and drive out and walk right out.
Because the security guard
Is
is informed. He's the one that checks the receipt, and he'll let you bypass and go out.
Right, and everyone, you would have to give him something, whether it was a DVD player at the time. That's what DVD players were big, or whatever it may be. I remember there was nothing in this planet or world that I needed.
Right.
I had everything.
You had a dope apartment.
Right.
Fully stocked fridge.
Right.
Every electronic that you would need to make your life easy
Absolutely.
and entertained.
Right, so I remember, but some of my friends in college wasn't as lucky as I was.
Mm-hmm.
They struggled a little bit, like a lot of college students did. So when this happened, this was the come up. This was the lick. We used to call it a lick. This was the lick. And what I used to do is I used to dress up in a suit every Sunday morning.
Every Sunday morning.
Every Sunday morning. I'm just going to say lately, because I don't know if I can get in trouble for this, but I think I can't.
How could you get in trouble for it?
Right, because I was convicted, right?
You already got in trouble for it.
Right. So I would dress up. Every
Okay, it's
Sunday.
like your audio memoir.
Right? I already got in trouble for it.
Exactly.
I would dress up every Sunday in a suit, and the reason I would dress in a suit is because Sunday I would act like I went to church. So if you go into a department store or Sam's Club, if I'm wearing a suit, I wouldn't look strange. I wouldn't look out of ordinary. People wouldn't necessarily look at me as a thief. They would more look like, oh, he's just coming from church. So I would.
That was the mindset.
It worked. It worked. So I dressed up in the suit, and I would get a shopping cart from Sam's Club, and I would fill it up with as much shit that I possibly could.
Sidebar: he kept all of this from me.
Right.
I had no idea that this was going on, because I think you knew that I would talk some sense into you.
Right. Well, so and at the time DVD players were big, like massagers, stupid shit.
Yeah.
Benders.
But it's the kind of massager that you would like lay over like a lounge chair or something, and it would massage you in the chair.
Right. At the time, plasmas weren't really they didn't have plasmas at Sam's Club.
No, not at that time.
They had like small TVs, like it would be
LCDs.
Like the LCDs. All types of just shit. I put in there, and then I would just walk right out. He would look at the receipt, and I'd walk out. I did this about 3-4 times.
I think so.
3-4 times did it, and then, of course, like everything else, who got caught?
Right.
Security guard got caught.
Mm-hmm.
Now the way he got caught was Sam's Club was missing, because it wasn't just me doing it. His friends, other people were doing it. It was a bunch of people
It's
doing
a whole conspiracy.
But I did it not because necessarily I needed the money, but the people that I did it with was my peoples.
Mm-hmm.
So I just did to be down, which is whack, horrible,
be down,
coward, soft. But at the time, I just was like, we just all doing this. Like, we all do some stupid shit because we all do it. And a lot of people get in trouble for doing things like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I just remember the guy got caught because Sam's Club Sam's Club lost $300,000 in that quarter. And they couldn't figure out how they lost the $300,000. Now, I knew Sam's Club didn't have cameras because I got the place out. So they would go to every employee and be like, look, we got you on camera. We know you stole this stuff. Just confess it. Let's let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And, most employees be like, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, you can leave. Go to another employee. They'll say the same thing. Another employee be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I didn't do nothing. And let them leave.
Mm-hmm.
The security guard that I knew through a friend, they said the same thing to him. And what did he say? All right, you got me. He told on himself. So now the problem with that was when they said, okay, who else is involved? He didn't know who else was coming in and out the store. The only person that he knew was me.
Right.
And he knew me not because of my real name, because I was the DJ on campus. DJ
Right.
Envy.
Mm-hmm.
Envy. It's a long story short.
Now, how old were you at the point?
I was, a sophomore in college or junior in college?
I think it was your sophomore year.
Sophomore, junior.
No.
Junior
It was junior year because you were living at the other apartment, not the Harbors. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Junior year in college.
So how would that make you?
I was about, 20?
20 as a junior?
19 to 20.
Probably 19.
19 or 20.
Yeah, 19.
So I get to, one day I'm driving home. And when I get to my
This
apartment,
day, I remember like it was enter Gia into the story.
I get to my apartment. And when I get to my apartment, I noticed that the door's off the hinges.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the apartment complex that I lived in Hampton, Virginia, they didn't allow students there. So I had to damn near lie and do all types of shenanigans to get in this apartment. It was like a really upscale apartment.
Right.
So there was no other students. So when I would go to, when I would go to my apartment, I would see all my neighbors kind of look at me funny because they knew that I did some funny business to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So one neighbor that I would see all the time smoking a cigarette, he was always outside smoking a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got there, see my door off the hinges, I knocked on his door. And I was like, I know you seen me.
You're always out here with that
always
cigarette.
outside with that cigarette.
Uh-huh.
And I remember like yesterday, he puffed his cigarette. He was like, he pulled the cigarette like.
They can't see you.
Oh, they can hear. I'm acting right now. Action. He pulled on the cigarette, blew it out at me. He said, the police. I said, what? He said, police came in here. I said, what the police come in here for? So I dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency?
Why was y'all just at my crib?
I was right there. I said, why y'all at my crib? So it was like, well, they were like, well, hold on. And then they was like, well, there's a warrant on your refrigerator. So I went in the refrigerator and I see it was a warrant. They said they believed that I was in possession of stolen property. Now, I'm not going to lie. There was no stolen property in my apartment. I was not stupid enough to leave this. I mean, I was stupid enough to do it, but...
Oh, okay.
But I was not
you
stupid
saw where
enough.
I was going with that.
I was not stupid enough to leave the stolen property in my apartment. So all the stuff that they took was my shit.
Well, see, you left that part out. They came and they took everything.
Everything on the phone.
That could have possibly been sold at Sam's Club out of his apartment.
Right.
So his toaster, his microwave, all the DVD players, clocks, like everything electric, they took out of his apartment.
Right. So they took everything. Everything out of my apartment that I really purchased, they took.
Right.
I didn't even say I purchased. My mom purchased.
Exactly.
My mom purchased, they took.
So wait, where were all the stolen goods?
I'll never tell this day. I'll never tell to this day. I have friends. The friends, they were out selling this stuff. Like, I didn't.
Is that what was happening?
Yeah, they were selling it. They were selling it. And if you heard a couple of episodes ago when we talked about the cheating story, we talked about that one friend that was crazy, Lil Sean.
Yeah.
Lil Sean was the one selling it. Shout out to Lil Sean.
See, now that allegedly. See, you only throw the allegedly in there when you're trying to protect yourself.
You're right. But it's been past. It's been over 10 years. I think we're good. All right, but anyway, so it was
over
like
10 years. Wow, more than that.
I'm not trying to show my age. I just said over 10.
I was about to be like, your math is bad.
No, stop trying to age me. I'm only 29. It was.
Go ahead.
So it's 10 years. All right, anyway, so they said it was on a warrant was on a thing. So the first thing that I did, and this is what you should tell your kids, even if you have teens or even if you're a teen listening, because we have young listeners as well, 16, 15 sometimes. If you ever get into trouble, never go to the police station yourself. My dad is a police officer. His first thing that he always tells me is the police are not your friends.
Ever.
Unless
they're trying to protect your life.
And there's no disrespect to any police officers that's listening, but that's what I was told. So the first thing that I did that morning was I got a lawyer.
Well, no. They're not your friends in the interrogation room. They're never your friends in the interrogation room. We can't say that police aren't your friends, but in an interrogation room, they're never your friends.
No, pretty much they're never your friends. And the reason I say that is the police have a job and they have an investigation to do. You can be innocent of something, but they go where the evidence leads them. So even though that you say, okay, I did nothing wrong, know that they still have to do an investigation. That's what my pops always said about the police.
That's what I'm saying. In an interrogation room, you can't say the police are never your friends.
Okay.
Right?
Well, right.
You're the son of a retired detective.
And my dad tells me that. I mean...
But the police are intact to protect society.
Right.
Not that it always happens that way.
Right.
But, one bad egg doesn't spoil the dozen.
Absolutely.
So let's say that. But in an interrogation room, your interest has to be yourself.
For a criminal investigation and there's
your
police
interest
around,
has to be yourself.
Protect yourself regardless.
Exactly.
Even if you did absolutely positively nothing, even if there's no way that it can lead to you, you protect yourself.
Right.
So I called the lawyer. And that really helped me out 1,000,000,000%. Most people that went to the police department was like, well, the police don't have no evidence on me. But I called the lawyer and I never had an opportunity to talk to a cop. They had to go through the lawyer. The hardest part of that was I had to tell you, and I had to call home and tell my mom.
Yes.
And it was a scary situation, very scary. I mean, I was all over the newspaper in Hampton University, in Hampton. They tried to kick me out of school for it. It was a lot, you know. And to go through the case fast, you know, I was convicted of petty larceny. They didn't have enough evidence to convict me. So I had to either go to trial, which Virginia is a Commonwealth state where they can make up their own rules on certain occasions and change laws, and I didn't want to do that, or I could take this petty larceny charge. I took the petty larceny
you pled
charge.
out.
I pled out to petty larceny. And the reason I wanted to talk about it is that peer pressure of feeling like I had to be down affected everything that I did. That petty larceny charge was on my record for 15 years.
Yes.
Where every time I traveled outside the country, they gave me a difficult time. Every time I would go to, I mean, it's off my record now, thank God, but anytime I would try to travel and make money, it was always a situation. They always put me into another room.
Especially in Canada.
Especially in Canada, and they would ask me about it all the time, and it would just be embarrassing. It would be embarrassing, all because I tried to fit in.
Right.
And you realize, and the reason I say that is, tell a story. I was raised very, very well. Parents always supported me. I got everything that I want. They pushed me to be better. But I always wanted to be liked as a kid. So
liked by friends,
liked by friends,
girls,
liked by girls,
everyone.
guys, everybody. You know, I always wanted to be down. You know, and growing up in Queens, you've seen a lot of street life, street activity. Drug dealers, you know, you would see people drive up and down with nice cars. You would see jewelry, you know.
It's a lot of places in New York, not just Queens, but yeah.
And then even with, you know, with music videos, you see people making a lot of money. So,
and videos were much bigger then than they are now.
So I wanted that stuff. So I remember going to college, and college was great. You know, I went to Hampton University. Gail went to Old Dominion, and I just remember hooking up with a bunch of people that were doing things that I didn't need to do, but I did it because I wanted to fit in. You know, and one of those things were I knew somebody that had a friend that worked at Costco.
Right. No, it wasn't Costco, it was Sam's Club.
Sam's Club.
Which, I think, is it just down south? It's, well, wherever it is. It's like a variation of...
Now, y'all heard all of that, right? And just in case they want me to edit that whole snippet out because I didn't really interrupt it, I wanted y'all to hear the whole situation. But just in case, let y'all hear it again. And then I'm going to go through it and stop and pause and then break it down like a shotgun like I normally do. Because that's what y'all here for. Y'all here for me to break it down like a shotgun as I eat this Breyers ice cream that I bought from Food Bazaar. No, I didn't steal it. No, I bought it with cash, money. Yeah, I don't steal. I make money so I don't have to do that. You was a DJ, so I'm not understanding why you was stealing from Sam's Club in your best Sunday suit. I don't understand. Now you got us thinking that we can't even trust people with suits on that look like they coming from church on a Sunday, because now you all up here being a big old opportunist. Something that it sounds like you always was, DJ Envy, allegedly, because listen, Linda, don't come for me. I didn't send for you. You the one out here snitching on podcasts, on your mans and them. Sam's Club, you know what? They should come and sue you. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Sam's Club said, "Oh, that was him. I want to get down with that RICO. How can I get it? Where do I fit in that? Because I knew that he was the one." And then you know what, you and Charlamagne, you know, Funk Flex was right tonight, because I listened to Funk Flex tonight. And you and Charlamagne, y'all real funny. Y'all have a real funny way of throwing people under the bus and then throwing yourselves under the bus. He writes about things in books. You get on podcasts with your wife who saves herself at every chance she gets. And I'm going to break it down how she saves her goddamn self every goddamn time. But you get on podcasts, not only do you snitch on yourself, you snitch on your mans in them. And then your wife got to tell you, well, damn, why you got to be telling on everybody? Everybody in me? Does E stand for I'm telling on everybody? Because that's what you've been doing. And see, I don't know if Cesar is aware of this whole podcast of you telling on your mans back then. But if you told on your mans in this podcast from I don't know how many years ago, what made Cesar, bring him out. Get him. Go get Cesar. He got to hear this from me, the queen, of breaking shit down. Cesar, if you think him is not going to tell on you, and he just sat on a whole podcast and told on Ray Sean, all of them, I don't even think his name was Ray Sean, but I'm trying to give him another name because I don't even want, him to even. Because if I'm him, I would have to call you and be like, so you got this whole podcast trending because it don't came right back up. Because TikTok find everything. So they don't clip this up and then threw this out there in the stratosphere. And now we discussing. You don't need to tell on. When you tell a story, you don't leave names out of the story. That'll be nice. That'll be nice. If you would just leave names out of the story. If you just want to talk about you, talk about you. Why do you need to bring Raekwon? I know that's not his name. Shut up. I'm giving him a different name. Because that don't make no damn sense. How you just threw him right underneath the bus. But let me break this down for y'all. So I'm going to go back a little bit. And then we're going to speed forward. But then I'm going to break some more down. Because I don't think y'all just understood what y'all just heard. He not only snitched on himself, he might be up against another lawsuit. Let's take another listen. Crazy.
Much bigger than they are now. Mm-hmm.
So I wanted that stuff. So I remember going to college, and college was great. I went to Hampton University. Gail went to Old Dominion, and I just remember hooking up with a bunch of people that were doing things that I didn't need to do, but I did it because I wanted to fit in. Mm-hmm. And
boom. That's already strike one in his whole little life. He said, I know I didn't need to do these things, but because I wanted to fit in, I did them anyway. You was already a badass kid on the grow up, that mean. I wonder how many times your father got you out of certain situations, being that him was a cop back then, and now him is retired. He probably happy he retired this day and age right goddamn now, so he won't have to come save you this time around. But you've been on your badass shit for a long time, Envy. Let's keep going now.
Whatever it may be. I remember there was nothing in this planet or world that I needed.
Right.
I had everything.
You had a dope apartment.
Right.
Fully stocked fridge.
Right.
Every electronic that you would need to make your life easy. Absolutely. And entertained.
Right. So I remember, but some of my friends in college wasn't as lucky as I was. Mm-hmm. They struggled a little bit, like a lot of college students did. So when this happened, this was the come up. This was the lick. We used to call it a lick.
Subliminally, he just called y'all a bunch of broke niggas in college. Oh, y'all didn't have it the way he had it because his daddy was a cop and y'all didn't really have it, even though y'all was in Hampton. Y'all didn't have it the way he had it. I'm just saying, let me just keep breaking it down.
I already got a jump on it.
Exactly.
I would dress up every Sunday in a suit, and the reason I would dress up in a suit is because Sunday I would act like I went to church. So if you go into a department store or Sam's Club, if I'm wearing a suit, I wouldn't look strange. I wouldn't look out of ordinary. People wouldn't necessarily look at me as a thief. They would more look like, oh, he's just coming from church. So I would just...
that was the mindset.
So that was already a disguise. The suit was a disguise to not look like a thief, but to dress up like a well-to-do man coming home from church and just going to Sam's Club and using your 5-finger discount and getting the security guard fired. Yeah. Is he responsible for getting the security guard fired? Even though the security guard knew what was going on? Do he even take responsibility for the security guard being fired? Because as we can see, he went on to be the world big DJ Envy. He went on to be doing bigger and better things. He was already a DJ. He was already in his career. He was already doing what he loved to do. So you got dressed up for no reason. And here's the thing. Shout out to God. God, don't even worry about him, because you handling him on the back end already for him being a scammer and dressing up like he came from church. Yeah, because you's a whole scamming ass nigga. If you can sit up there on this podcast and tell the world and us on YouTube now that you used to dress up and act like you came from church. See, that's the whole problem. You needed to be in the church. You needed to not to be acting like it, because maybe if you would have got a splash of holy water on your forehead, we wouldn't be here today. But let's keep going.
Out of ordinary. People wouldn't necessarily look at me as a thief. They would more look like, oh, he's just coming from church. So I would just...
that was the mindset.
It worked. So I dressed up in the suit, and I would get a shopping cart from Sam's Club, and I would fill it up with as much shit that I possibly could.
Sidebar, he kept all of this from me.
Right.
I had no idea that this was going on, because I think you knew that.
You see how she just came in there and saved herself if this ever hits the fan and Sam's Club want to come back around the way and sue him? Yeah, so she just swooped in. Whoop, let me save myself. He kept all of this from me. I had no idea. What was going on, because I think he knew. He knew I would talk him out of it, you know. I did not know. I didn't know. Bitch, you knew. You knew. Allegedly, you knew. Because here's the thing. What was you doing in college that you didn't know that your man was doing the 5-finger discount? So you trying to tell me you never went to his house with the stolen items? I know you lying, because it's no way in the world you ain't say, well, let me get that little microwave. Oh! So you trying to say you ain't get you no little TV? No, you ain't get you no VCR. No little products out of Sam's Club. Nothing. You didn't benefit nothing. I just didn't know what was going on. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know, because he knows I would have girl. I know. You fucking lying. Let's keep going.
Stuff. Just confess and let's let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And, most places like, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, you can leave. Go to another place. They'll say the same thing. Another place like, what the fuck are you talking? I didn't do nothing. And let them leave.
Mm-hmm.
The security guard that I knew through a friend, they said the same thing to him. And what did he say? All right, you got me. He told on himself.
Uh-huh.
So now the problem with that was, when they said, okay, who else is involved? He didn't know who else was coming in and out the store. The only person that he knew was me.
Right.
And he knew me not because of my real name, because I was the DJ on campus, DJ
Right.
Envy. Envy. It's a long story short.
Now, how old are you at this point?
I was, a sophomore in college or junior in college?
I think it was just sophomore.
I'm eating this ice cream, so mind me if I'm doing a little bit of snacking. But she ain't shit. Let me tell you why. She ain't shit. Because why does she have to... And how old are you at this point? You like 19, 20? They still dragging people up out the ground for things that they didn't even commit. So if you think Sam's Club should just swoop down like your wife just did when she saved herself, Sam's Club should attach themselves to the RICO. I hope his friend, who he snitched on, I hope his friend just come out the woodwork and say, hey, my name is such and such, and I was working with him at the... He's always been a thief, Your Honor. He's always been like this. He used to dress up, come in there, act like he went to go see God to get a good prayer, and he used to steal VCRs out of the Sam's Club, Your Honor. He's always been a light, bright, stealing ass nigga, Your Honor. This is what he does, Your Honor. So I'm not surprised that he's stealing from the people of Patterson, New Jersey, and around the world, Your Honor, because he grew up like this. His father was a cop, and he's a thief. Those two, it's like oil and water. They just don't mix, Your Honor. And I'm trying to figure out why he needed to go on a podcast and throw me under the bus, Your Honor. So here I am today in court trying to figure out how I get here. How did I get here? Who subpoenaed me? Who found me? They need to go find his people, dig them up. Because there's no way everybody, everybody's still around. Gots to be. It's no way. Find the security guard that said, I did it. It was me. I know him. It was them. And that was us. And we all did it. Go find one of them security guards. Dig them up. Do what you got to do. They probably hiding where Cesar's hiding at, wherever him is hiding at. But we going to get into that news 4 and how you just, and your wife that's out there doing, we going to get into that. But anyway, they should just find all those guys that was in the whole, y'all was already pulling a RICO before we even knew who he really was. That's crazy how you was already a thief back then, and it's crazy because you would thought that out of everything you would evolve into a better person, but you kind of did evolve into a bigger thief, allegedly. Let's keep going because he's crazy. Hope they dig all his little friends up.
Why was y'all just at my crib?
I was about to say, why y'all at my crib? So it was like, they was like, hold on. And then they was like, there's a warrant on your refrigerator. So I went in the refrigerator and I see it was a warrant. They said they believed that I was in possession of stolen property. Now, I'm not going to lie. There was no stolen property in my apartment. I was not stupid enough to leave this. I mean, I was stupid enough to do it, but...
Oh, okay.
But I was not...
You saw where I was going with that.
I was not stupid enough to leave the stolen property in my apartment. So all the stuff that they took was my shit.
Well, see, you left that part out. They came and they took everything
on the boat
that could have possibly been sold at Sam's Club out of his apartment.
Right.
So his toaster, his microwave, all the DVD players, clocks, like everything electric, they took out of his apartment.
Right.
Oh, so karma came back then for him and swooped in and they took all his stuff then. Well, I don't... Here's the thing. If karma swooped in back then and took all his belongings and his little prized possessions and everything he said that he owned allegedly, because let me tell you something. I don't believe a goddamn thing about him. I don't believe nothing he's saying. Oh, because I was well-to-do and all of my friends, Basically, he called all his friends bums, and they needed the stuff, and his friends sold his other friends stuff on campus, and this is how everybody was lit. Basically, that's what he said in short. But my thing is, though, so Karma came years before, before all of this happened, right? Karma had came, swooped in. She knew where your address was at. They put the little notice on the door and on the refrigerator. They probably thought you stole that too, but then they tried to figure out, well, damn, if he stole the refrigerator, how did he get that out? Oh, he might not have stole the refrigerator. Let's put that warrant on the refrigerator. And take the microwave and the toaster and the blender and the VCR and the TV and the clock on the wall and take all the bedding off. Let's round it up. Take the whole house. Here's the thing about Karma, DJ Envy. Here's the thing. If it came around then, it's getting ready to come around now. God said you're not going to be using him to be stealing from his people. You used him and act like you was coming from the church. You already lied. That's like me lying and saying, oh, I'm at such and such house. I know I'm not at such and such house. Why would I even lie and say I'm at such and such house? So you lied and said, oh, I'm at God's house. And you dressed up with your little Easter Sunday suit on. And then here's the thing about acting like you didn't want to steal because, it was a thing for you then. I think it gave you a little bit of a rush and you became a bigger thief as time went on. You've been stealing. You've been stealing, just like when Christopher Columbus said that he was here first, knowing damn well. Go read a book, pick it up before DJ Envy steal it or something, allegedly. Listen. Christopher said he landed here first, knowing damn well him didn't. But y'all just kept that lie going. Just like DJ Envy kept the lie going for the Ponzi scheme. And now we here today. You know what's funny? Because Karma's come back around. Karma know where everybody lives at Envy. Cesar is stupid enough to not even say nothing about this. The only reason why you came out and said something on the Breakfast Club is because you already knew what it was. So you figure you come out and make a statement. That statement is going to hurt. Every time you open your mouth, DJ Envy, it gets you in hot water. So from here on out, DJ Envy, I suggest you just tighten it up. Zip your lip. Don't say nothing on the air over there. Don't say nothing over here. Don't get on your Instagram doing a dance. Oh yeah, because y'all, while everything was going down, DJ Envy was doing a whole dance and he's on a whole college tour and X, Y, and Z. I wonder if he's still stealing. Yeah. I want to know if he's still stealing. Allegedly. Obviously, he's still stealing something. Allegedly. Even though he act like he's not a part of it. I just want to know how you figure that you're not a part of it. Let's go back to the News Channel 4 clip and we're going to try to figure out how you wasn't a part of it. Let's go back to that.
Show The Breakfast Club. He often promoted the real estate venture of his pal, Cesar Pina, but it's more than just a passing endorsement. You can partner with us on some deals. Make some money with us. Envy and Cesar have teamed up for seminars, including one at the JFK Center. Envy and Cesar have teamed up for seminars, including one at the JFK Center. Envy and Cesar have teamed up for seminars, including one at the JFK Center. Envy and Cesar have teamed up for seminars, including one at the JFK Center. Envy and Cesar have teamed up for seminars, including one at the JFK Center. Envy and Cesar have teamed up for seminars, including one at the JFK Center. Envy and Cesar have teamed up for seminars, including one at the JFK Center. Envy and Cesar have teamed up for seminars, including one at the JFK Center. Envy and Cesar have teamed up for seminars, including one at the JFK Center. Envy and Cesar have teamed up for seminars, including one at the JFK Center. Envy and Cesar have teamed up for seminars, including one at the JFK Center. Envy and Cesar have teamed up for seminars Javits Convention Center.
He's advertising this all over the radio and on television. I've seen shows of him all over the place, so I thought this was legit.
Jose Santiago and Jessica Ortiz say they connected with entrepreneur Cesar after seeing him on social media with DJ Envy. The pitch to invest in rundown properties that would be renovated and flipped for more money. The promise to return up to 30%. In some cases, Cesar didn't even own the properties, like this one in Patterson, New Jersey. The couple took out $200,000 in equity from their Florida home, promised that 30% return within 4 months. They say they got nothing.
I'm paying the interest right now every month, and I have nothing.
Well, at this point, we just want our money back. And they're not alone. Dozens of investors have now filed lawsuits against Cesar and his wife, and some against DJ Envy.
I lost a total of $64,000, $835,000 in total. I lost $1 million.
Envy, whose real name is Rashawn Casey, lied to talk to the IT team, referring us to a powerful Manhattan real estate attorney. He said Envy himself was a victim.
He paid $500,000 for a similar investment and didn't see a penny back yet.
A lot of people say they bought in because of Envy's reputation. Does he not have some responsibility?
Absolutely. The only reason why Envy is sued is to sensationalize the case.
Tonight, here at 7 o'clock, more from the attorney. Why hasn't DJ Envy denounced the alleged scheme on his radio show? And for the first time, you'll hear the heinous position from Patterson, Sarah Wallace, News New York. Looking for a successful story.
So if he's not a victim, right? Envy says he's a victim, right? If Envy was a victim, then how come he sued me, his business partner, and I've paid him over $500,000, but yet with Cesar, who owes them $500,000, hasn't sued him. Envy, you're full.
I agree with the credit dude. How is it that you're a victim, but you sue the credit dude, and you're trying to sue Tony the closer, but in yet you didn't sue or have paperwork in the system yet for Cesar, who you say you're not his business partner, you didn't know nothing about it, but in yet you're going down in flames for all of it. Where's Cesar, DJ Envy? Where is Cesar? Pizza. Where is Cesar at? That's funny. He's really quiet. Meanwhile, you are out here because you're the bigger name and you brought him to the platform. You are out here taking the heat from a majority of this whole damn case. The case that you said and things and money and nobody gave you money and you don't know and you're not liable and this and that and the third. See, your father taught you well when he told you don't talk to the cops, lawyer up when you were young. And then you took that into now and you have done the same thing that you did then and you're doing it now. The only thing is, this ain't Sam's Club. These are people in real life that you have stole allegedly millions from. And if that don't, let me tell you something about stealing. It's a funny thing about stealing. You don't have to necessarily touch the money in order to be an accomplice to the thievery that's going on in the whole situation. All the lawyer has to do is connect you and connect the dots to the money and how you brought Cesar up there to the radio station and how y'all made multiple videos together. Let's go to one of those videos, as a matter of fact.
Victims?
I say, just hold tight and we're going to come through.
Where's the money?
That's a Cesar answer for you. I can't give you that answer. He wants to be here with you. He wants to do the sit down. He wants to have this interview. He wants to clear the air. He wants to explain his side, and he wants people to understand what's going on. But, he's been advised to not talk.
We caught up with Cesar's wife, Jennifer, in Bergen County. Do you have anything to say to the alleged victims?
I say, just hold tight and we're going to come through.
Where's the money?
That's a Cesar answer for you. I can't give you that answer. He wants to be here with you. He wants to do the sit down. He wants to have this interview. He wants to clear the air. He wants to explain his side, and he wants people to understand what's going on. But, he's been advised to not talk.
We caught up with Cesar's wife.
Now he's been advised to not talk. He had plenty of time to talk before Channel 12 got involved. He had plenty of time to talk before even Tony got involved. He had plenty of time to talk before Channel 4 got involved. He has plenty of time to talk, and he has chosen not to talk because he's guilty, allegedly. Now let's keep going.
I understood. I never called you and said, hey, Jose, you should stop because this is bad for my business. No, because I knew how you felt. And I knew what it meant to you. So I said, I get it. Do what you got to do. I understand. When you spoke to me, okay, I never made you feel like, oh, no, because I understood. Not only as a business partner, but at the time as a friend. See, yes, when I had our conversation the other day, because regardless of who you had beef with, and when you were shitting on Cesar like crazy, which is my partner, which affected me, I understood. I never called you and said, hey, Jose, you should stop because this is bad for my business. No, because I knew how you felt.
He said, Cesar, which is my business partner. Cesar, who is my business partner. See, Envy. I told you, every time you talk, every time you open your mouth, it's a problem, Envy. Every time. It never fails. Every time you open up your mouth, there is a problem. You don't admit it on phone calls, and they are being released. Everything you have texted, everything you have said, every live you have been on, even down to your own radio station, even down to the Breakfast Club recordings. See, this is the problem in today's world with all this social media. This is not back when you were stealing from Sam's Club. No. This is now in the 2000s. We are going into 2024. And now look what's going on. Karma has sent in her big mother to come get you, because obviously little Karma back then didn't do you justice. Instead of you learning from back then not to steal from people, you upgraded and said, oh, I'm DJ Envy. Nobody's gonna do anything to me. Let me just steal from the little people now. What? And word on the curb is, you done it to Mary J. Blige too, allegedly. That's just word on the curb. I could have sworn I've been heard about that. Think about it. When she was going through that whole situation with her husband and getting the divorce, and how she had to sell her house, and how you did what you did, allegedly. All of that's alleged though. But all of it is coming back to bite you in the ass. My thing is, DJ Envy, when are you going to learn your lesson? That stealing is bad. Did your mother and father ever teach you that part? Did they ever say stealing is bad? Ain't that like part of the 10 Commandments? Thou shalt not steal. Ain't that like part of the 10 Commandments? Thou shalt not lie. I'm just saying. God said, God did. He's here now. He's here now. The roosters is coming home to roost, DJ Envy. And that's the problem. You still sitting on the Breakfast Club and acting like you are so unbothered. I wonder if this is keeping you and your wife up at night now. Because you tried to use poor little Tyrese to and now he even threw you underneath the bus. He is no longer your friend. He cannot help you out of this situation how he helped you repair your situation between you and your wife after you cheated on her with Erica Mena. He can't help you out of this one. You dogged him, or at least you tried. What are you going to do now? Because see, here's the thing. Once you leave the Breakfast Club, are you still going to be touring college campuses after that? After this case is all said and done, where do you go after that? Because Cesar is probably going to go back to jail. Because he's already been a felon from before for stealing and scamming and scheming and frauding. Allegedly. Because that's what his background is. But where do you go? The son of a former cop. Let's get right into the headlines. Son of former cop and DJ host of the Breakfast Club jailed. Wow. Guilty in real estate RICO. Oh, can y'all see it on the Daily News? Wow. It's so clear in my head and in my vision, I can see it, DJ Envy, in your future. That's the sad part. The sad part is we didn't have to do this. Y'all had so many times to get this right. You had so many times to call your mans in them and say, we got to make this right little by little. Y'all gave that young man, Cesar gave that young man chains. Oh, hold on to this until I can get you your money back. I'm happy he kind of had those chains there to show the news reporter, because at this point, I don't think nobody would have believed him if he would have just said it out his mouth without the chains to prove it. I'm happy everybody have their receipts in order. Because I'm going to tell you now what I said back then underneath Tony's comments. This case is far from over. This is about to be the biggest real estate Ponzi scheme that has ever hit the fucking planet. The world, Craig. The world. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When they come for you. My name is Eve the Weave. Please like, share, and subscribe. Oh, Envy. Somebody call Envy and let him know we are on his ass. Pause. Not like when he put his finger up Charlemagne's butt, the mole butt. Y'all remember that? That went viral. Now you going viral for something else. How the tables have turned. And those who have had, has had. And those that have not, have not. Don't let that go over your head, YouTube. I'm talking about the have and the have-nots. How you sat up there on that podcast and said, oh, because they really didn't have nothing. Well, if my God serves me correctly, you are fitting to not have nothing. I gotta go, YouTube. Later.